This is a Happy Meal inside my McDonald's VR game. I've never made a VR game before, so for my first one, I decided to make a food service simulator at McDonald's. Little did I know that making this VR game would be one of the hardest games I've ever made. But first, let me tell you about my game idea. It's pretty much Help Wanted 2's food service without the jump scares. But I also wanted the customers to be like ragdolls, just like in Gang Beasts. So with my new game idea, I opened up Unreal Engine and created a new project called Macca's. The first thing I needed to do was create a bench model in Blender. This is where I came across the first problem. Scaling. You see, making models for VR is very different than traditional 3D games because in VR, everything is life-size, so even if a model is slightly off in size, the whole scene just feels off. I spent countless days trying different scenes and trying to resize it, but it never really felt right. For now, I thought I'd figure this out later and work on the mechanics of the game. Now, since this is the first time I've used Unreal Engine, I had to learn Blueprints, which is completely different to regular scripting. But after a while and watching lots of tutorial videos, I made it so you could fill a cup from a soda machine and you can make a burger. You can put it in a box by putting them together. I also made it that cups would respawn after you took one. Well, I fixed that, but I also need to make chicken nuggets. At the time, I was completely copying Help Wanted 2, so I literally made the same exact 3 trays. But instead of beans, rice, and corn, I did fries, nuggets, and pasta. I don't know why I thought McDonald's served pasta either. Anyways, I modeled a ladle and added it to the game. At this point, the game saw the work, but since I was always learning new things with blueprints, some of the code was messy and harder to update. So I decided to completely redo the game. But this time, I knew what I was doing. To make sure I finished it, I set up a Trello workspace, and taking what I learned from last time, I downloaded a person reference model, so I could model things with scale in mind. I started modeling the kitchen and I found this awesome website called poly.pizza. It had a bunch of free low poly models, which was perfect for the style I was going for. After lots of modeling and importing, I ended up with this, which looked way better than what I had before. I re-implemented the burger machine and the soda machine, this time with fewer drinks. And instead of doing trays, I more realistically made a deep fryer, and unfortunately I had to get rid of the pasta. All around me are familiar faces. And this is where I encountered my second problem. Testing. Now obviously to test my VR game I have to wear a headset every single time, which is so annoying, especially because I have to install this terrible Oculus app. So anyways, yeah, it's just really annoying and it crashes a lot because I usually spend like 10 minutes trying even just to get the game running. Until I found this amazing video by Werewolfen. So basically you just go to settings, engine, scalability, and turn it to low. And this setting saved tons of time and it wouldn't crash as often now. I found a TV model and made a widget that would display all the orders and a progress bar to track how much time you have left to complete the order. And now finally it was time to add customers. Luckily on poly.pizza I found an animated characters pack by Quartenius. So I imported it into Unreal and added ragdoll physics to it. So the reason her back is snapped in half is because I haven't set up a physics asset yet. A physics asset is basically collisions with constraints for each bone in the body so it can simulate the human body correctly. After that I created a spline so the customer follows it. And now the ragdoll works. To add more customers, I downloaded another pack, and for some reason, the physics assets didn't work. So after hours of searching, I finally fixed it, but there were no animation. And since I was too lazy to add them, I just put them on hoverboards. And now since the game is basically finished, I just need to add some polish and a main menu. But before that, I need to add the classic Happy Meal, so I modeled it and added it into the game. Now to polish the game, I added some particle effects, and I need to find some sound effects too. So I downloaded the McDonald's atmosphere. And I played it in the background, which really made it feel like an actual McDonald's. Then I made the main menu, which is where I found my third problem, documentation. Basically, VR is very niche, so finding tutorials and documentation on it for Unreal Engine 5 was pretty hard. Most of the VR tutorials were outdated because of how fast VR was evolving, and this is why making the main menu was harder than it should have been. But I did eventually figure it out, and finally the game was finished and I named it Work at Macca's. And yeah, this is the game. You can see we're in the plane in the middle of nowhere. It's just the main menu. but we can go into a game, and now I can finally work at McDonald's. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe so I can make more games like this in the future. I might release this, so if I did, there will be a link in the description. Keep in mind, it's not really fully polished, so it's probably really buggy. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.